All right, so 2018 F-150 FX4 Crew 302A chrome package. Navigation system with the Sirius. Long story short, like everybody else, I started having buttons with a severe delay. I started having connectivity issues with my phone. It would just separate from my phone, disconnect the battery, do the soft reset, do the master reset, do the software update from 2.3 to 3.0. This thing started crapping out. Nothing was working. None of the above worked. Severe delays. Buttons, you try to change a station, it would make it the previous station that you moved from, and also label it why. So, again, software update, successfully done. Disconnect the battery, do the hard reset, do the soft reset. Nothing worked. Watched one video, and I can tell you, after researching on the internet, to replace the APIM, which is behind this, take that speaker off, pull this molding off, go behind there, undo some screws here. Not too complicated. Remove this little brain box from behind this computer. It could be anywhere from $5.99 to $9.99, depending on whether you have navigation or not. I have navigation. So it would pretty much cost me $1,000 for the part, and then I believe $300 plus for the labor, and that may not even solve the problem. Been looking on forums. I'm reading a lot of this. What I did tonight was I screwed around on YouTube again, found a video of a guy who went in and pushed if my light would go on, the seek button to the right on your steering wheel and the seek button to the right on your radio simultaneously. Let's see if I can get some light here, for Pete's sake. Which brings you into a diagnostic mode. Stand by. Turn auxiliary on. You gotta check this out. Look how fast that was. Very bitchin' song. I push this right seek button and this right seek button at the same time. I want to show you what happens. Let it go. It's doing a diagnostic. APIM diagnostic. I went in here. It's responding. I do a display test pattern. Looks kind of scary, huh? I let that go. I do a pixel test. I touch, 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 touch. Very fast. I'm gonna go back. I'm going to do a configuration status. Well, I looked. I didn't do anything with this. My apologies. Still responding. Touchscreen activation. I touched every single one of these blocks. See how it's turning white? I don't believe the APIM is bad if I can touch every single one of these and it responds immediately and shades out them blocks. I did every single block, which clearly tells me the APIM is not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and finish it. Sorry, you're gonna have to sit here and suffer with me through it, because I don't know if doing it again and not hitting all of these squares is going to foobar something. But I hear people are spending with navigation up to $1,350 to replace the APIM behind this screen. It's not hard to do, but evidently they have to also program it. And some people find that it still does not resolve the issue. Let me tell you something. I've been screwing with this thing for weeks. It started crapping out more and more until it soon became virtually unresponsive. So tonight, I went in and I went into this diagnostic after I did the software update from 2.3 to 3.0. I apologize, you're going to have to watch videos on how to do that, but basically you can do it from your own computer. It did not work. I disconnected the battery. It did not work. Once I went in and did this, let me tell you something. It's been pretty responsive tonight. Very responsive. Exit diagnostics. Navigation. I'm in my garage with no...
2, 3, 1. Let us know what you want your ad to say and always produce it at no extra cost.
I mean, come on.
2. Reach Spotify listeners based on their interests.
I believe this fixed it, because this was foobar. It would not move. It would not do anything. I'm going to go back to my own stations. Again, I'm in my garage. Oh, look, you can see my stations. What it would do before is if it was on this station and I hit this new station, number one, it would not move that fast. 2, it would make this station, and it would take 10 minutes to do that. Anyone born in my generation would know this station. So listen, I'm in my garage. It's trying to acquire signal, but it did not move like this before me screwing to do. So clearly there is nothing wrong with my APIM. If it was able to do all those functions before you spend $1,300, $900 to buy this APIM and have the dealership, quote, try to calibrate it and still screw around with those issues, what I believe needs to happen is when it starts crapping out, when it starts getting slow, do the software update, and then go in and do those diagnostics like I just showed you. Semper Fi. Yep. All right, so update with that. The APIM is clearly not crapped out because you saw me touch all those blocks, all those pixels and color tests. If the APIM was bad, it probably wouldn't even acknowledge the touches. It just would not have registered any of the color tests. Here's what happened. The navigation system finally crapped out and said navigation fault. After navigation completely crapped out, everything else works 100% fine. The stations change fast. They do not do any of the why. They do not delay. There is zero hesitation. So I'm convinced it's not the APIM. It's something to do with navigation. Because why would everything continue to be slow, delayed, screw up, not work, but the second navigation says navigation fault, everything else works completely fine. There's nothing wrong with the buttons. Everything cycles fine. I can go through all the, I don't know, what do you call the, kind of like your phone, all the modes, all the different displays, the stations. I can program things. Everything's functioning fine except for navigation. So I do believe it's something to do with navigation. When I did the software update for the APIM, perhaps there's a software update for navigation, but it appeared as though it updated navigation. I don't know. One thing I can show you is that there is, I'm not an IT person, technical person, there's a thing that deals with the navigation that goes from the antenna on top to the speaker in your dash, and it does something with navigation. So let me try to show you. It's this. So this thing goes under here. When you decide to remove your APIM, you pop this off. There's screws you take out, screws under here. You pop this faceplate off. Something, and of course, then you have access to bolts here. Anyway, you have access to your APIM. I'm convinced it's not the APIM. If all those buttons I just showed you work, all the function tests work, but for some reason, it was still kind of giving me problems up until navigation completely crapped out. Now all this works completely fine. You know what? Let me just actually do something. I'm in my garage. There is interference, but let's just do something here. So the only thing that got affected was the time. I cannot get that back to Zulu time or any kind of proper time, and then navigation. Now that this is completely crapped out, everything works fine. Well, let's stick with serious. Yeah, see, it's saying acquiring signal. I'm in my garage. Of course, it's going to call me a liar now. It's acquiring signal, so it's not going to really work right now. This is just a bad reference. But when I'm outside of my garage and everything's working fine, I can cycle through all of these. There's no interference. My phone connects fine. It no longer disconnects, which is what it would do previous to, the navigation system crapping out. Anyway, all I can tell you is once this happened, everything else with here, everything just works, except for anything that dealt with GPS. So, don't know how to explain it. Wish I could. The one alternative you can do is put a little phone charger in here. That one right there under the console. Plug your phone in. Let's see if I can't do it here. It's just gonna mess everything up. It's gonna be Apple CarPlay. So, when I did the software update, it has Apple CarPlay, and it's just not going to work in here. Still says acquiring signal. Okay, lots of distractions going on now. I got kids coming out in the garage asking me what I'm doing, something about my dog. Listen, here's the deal. You can just see the videos I showed you. I do not believe it's the APIM. All of this works fine right now. Satellite acquiring signal is because I'm in my garage, surrounded by concrete. Give this an option. It's $1,000 to replace this APIM with navigation system. To me, once I plug into this outlet, stick it in my phone, I have Apple CarPlay. The only difference is I even still have navigation. Google Maps, it shows up on here. The only difference is now it uses data from my phone to use navigation. Everything else works just fine. Probably not the APIM. It's something to do with navigation. I might pull this off, buy a new wire, see if the wire is something's wrong with it. You know, what I can tell you is that I did have this top half replaced. That little hump right here was not the actual TSB. It's the vents here that become a hump. But anyway, so I had the TSB done for the dashboard, the warp dash. They replaced this whole top piece. Ever since then was when I had problems. Perhaps it affected something to do with the wires with the GPS. All I'm telling you is go through the test I showed you. If your navigation craps out, it's probably not your APIM. Don't spend $1,000. You can if you want, but they do say it's no guarantee. Simplify, yep.